Welcome back, folks. Now we are on page 65, and on page 65, the focus will now be calculating the volume of different shapes. In this case, we'll consider the volume of a cube, rectangular prism, and a cylinder. Now, first, let's define the weight volume. Volume is nothing else but the inner space of any object. We call that the volume. Sometimes we call it the capacity of an object. So take an object. For now, let me grab a cube here. Here is the cube. So if I want to calculate the inner space of this object, I have to consider this side, multiply by this side, multiply by this side. I will now say V is equals to S, multiply by S, multiply by S. This is the formula that I will always use to calculate the volume of a cube. Or you can say V is equals to S times S times S is going to be S to the power 3. Why do I have 3 there? Because multiplying the powers of the same base will always add exponents. We have another shape sitting here, which is a rectangular prism. And we'll draw this rectangular prism here. I'm going to take 6 rectangles and I'm going to combine them to create rectangular prism. So now, since this is a rectangular prism, it must have a length, meaning the longest side. It must have the breadth, which is the distance from here to there. Then it must have the height. Let me use various colors there. The length, the blue line here represents the length. The red will represent the breadth. Do I have another color? But that's fine. The black will represent here, will represent the height of this particular object. So if I want to calculate the volume, I will forever say H multiplied by breadth multiplied by length. Then this is the formula that we'll always use to calculate the volume of a cylinder. Let's grab an example this side. Let's now calculate the volume of a cube. Let me have a decent cube sitting here. Here's our cube. So if I give you one side of a cube, I say this side is 4 meters, and I ask you to calculate the volume of this cube. The first step that you need to do on step 1 is to write down the formula. Now you have a choice. It's either you use this one or use that one. So I will choose V equals to S to the power 3. Then in this case, I will say where there is S represents the side, which is 4. So S equals to 4. So where there is S, you substitute by 4. Then you have 4 to the power 3. Then you press your calculator, you say 4 exponent 3. We are going to get, I think it's 64. Then here we're going to have meter cube. Because of, I was supposed to write meter here. And so all squared. 4 squared is 64 meter cube. Now let's interpret our results. This 64 is nothing else but amount of the inner space of this object, which is the volume. The amount of this inner space this inner space in here. Its amount is 64 and is measured in cubic meter. Thanks for watching. Hope you understood everything. So feel free to watch this video more than one or more than 3 times until everything makes sense to you. So at the next session, we are going to focus on calculating the volume of a rectangular prism. And then I appreciate you listening. Cheers.